Hello, I'm Laura. It's Friday, June 5th, 2026, and these are today's Heartlines. Our theme for Heartlines this week is Keep On Keeping On. And today we are going to keep on keeping on in the light of peace. It seems I am talking about peace at least once a week on these Heartlines lately, and that's because of what we have seen happening in our world. Most recently, I've seen the images coming out of the Kuwait airport, much of which has been destroyed by drones from Iran. And it touched my heart because I used to travel through that airport quite a bit when I was going back and forth between the United States and where I lived in Bahrain with my husband at the time, when he was working at the Navy base there. And when I saw these images, I thought, what is happening over there? Because I know that that attack was in response to an air attack of the United States on a drone control base in Iran. So back and forth it goes, while the claim is that there is a ceasefire. And back and forth it goes, while the claim is that we are really not at war. So I went to the internet and I asked, when is war not war? And the response I got was that war is not officially war when it has not been declared by the nation's governments that are involved, or when it hasn't been around long enough or on enough fronts in the world to be considered a war of great global impact, although the conflict between the United States and Israel and Iran has had indeed global impact. So I will simply call it the war that is not a war. And in so doing, it also makes me wonder, how do you respond to something? How do you respond to such conflict in the world, which is not restricted to the Middle East, but actually has blossomed into full-blown and official war in several places, including between Russia and Ukraine, and in the Sudan, the civil war that's been going on there. So how do we deal with all of this conflict in our world and stay centered in ourselves in a way that helps bring greater peace into the world? Well, of course, as I've said in previous videos, we get in touch with the peace within ourselves. And today I'd like to get in touch with the light of peace, because as I found peace in my own meditation today, I started thinking of our world's leaders and the people in places of conflict and holding them in the light of peace. And this is the peace that is always peace. So in the face of the war that is not a war, we can turn to the peace that is always peace. And we are going to do that right now by taking a deep breath and going into a silent moment of contemplation and prayer. So let's breathe deeply and close our eyes and keep to this idea in our hearts. I hold the leaders of nations and the people of the world in the light of peace that radiates in my heart until peace prevails on earth. I hold the leaders of nations and the people of the world in the light of peace that radiates in my heart until peace prevails on earth. And so it is. May peace prevail on earth. This is a statement I have seen on the peace polls that I have seen around the world, including one at the battleground of Megiddo in Israel, one at my church after we commissioned that it be there, and I see one almost everywhere I go where there is a center of history, of great history, or a center that actually holds prayers for peace. And 4 languages appear when it says, may peace prevail on earth. So when we hold people in the light of peace, be they citizens or world leaders, we can do so by doing it until peace prevails on earth. And to do this, we may have to keep on keeping on for as long as it takes. So thank you for joining me in the light of peace today, and have a wonderful day.